Good day, brothers and sisters. This is Brother Mac coming back. Today is Sunday, October the 9th, approximately 11:05 a.m. here in Tanzania. I just decided to come on for a quick moment. Number one is to let everybody see that I'm doing okay. I'm good. I just finished eating breakfast, drinking some coffee, and I'm just sitting here now, just kind of chilling out. And I just kind of wanted to, um, uh, talk about different things this morning, not nothing in particular. So when I'm talking about different things, I'm not trying to make a certain point or anything, but I'm just talking from observations and things since I've been here. So I may be talking all over the place with no specific purpose or anything. I'm just talking this morning. So one of the things that I was talking to a brother last night on the phone, and he's pretty much disgusted with being here in Tanzania because one thing I can talk about is Tanzania and Ghana, because those are the two places that I've been. And every place have good things about it, and then you have bad things about it. The same thing in America. There's good things going on in America, and then there's also bad things. So it's kind of up to you to decide which one that you can live with the most. So I was thinking about what the brother was saying and things, and pretty much he's frustrated with the people here in Tanzania. And like I said, it's the same in Ghana from what I experienced. And that is because of the economic system here. They don't have unemployment insurance here, or where you get unemployment if you're not working. They don't have welfare here. Everybody is working for themselves, doing something. Now there is crime here in terms of stealing, but the biggest crime here is corruption. And what I mean about corruption is that a lot of things that you do, you gotta pay for. You gotta give money for, and that goes all the way up the chain. And so I can understand why it's like that. I don't agree with it, but I can understand why it's like that, because when you're in a system here where the economics are not the way it's supposed to be, as far as the people, the whatever funds the government gets or whatever should reach all the way down to the people. It seems simple, when you think about it. But as in any case, when you have anybody that's greedy, and I'm not talking about just here, it happens in America as well. If you're greedy, that means somebody that needs something is gonna go lacking. And that's what I mean by that. So I feel that the brother had got frustrated with how the people are here. And when you come to, like I said, I've been to Ghana and Tanzania. So when I say Africa, I'm only talking about the two places that I've been. I haven't been to the other 52 countries. I've only been to two. So when I say Africa, I'm speaking of Ghana and I'm speaking of Tanzania. So what I've experienced in the corruption process is that anything that you need to get done, you're gonna have to pay a little money for it to get done. That's how people make their money here. I give you an example. Here in Tanzania, I've been stopped by the police maybe at least four times already, driving. I drive now and everything, and so I'm still learning the streets and things. So sometimes I may go down a one way, or I might make a wrong turn, in which case, and this is kind of funny, they don't have police cars that like you do in America that stop you. But this last experience I had, this guy was on a motorcycle, and he was trying to flag me down, and he was flashing something which looked like a green passport or something. So I wasn't stopping. I didn't even know he was police. And fortunately, I had a brother with me, a Tanzanian brother, and he said, "Oh, that's the police." I said, "Oh, okay. What is he stopping me for?" So the bottom line in that situation, yeah, I did make a wrong turn. I admit that. But all they wanted from me was some money. I mean, they gave me a choice to pay the ticket, which would have been higher than the money that they was asking for. So naturally, you're going to give it up. Sometimes I may say no and pay the ticket, And then sometime I'll give them some money. It's not really that much. But those are examples of corruption, at the lowest state, the policeman. But I can say this here: I would rather get stopped by a policeman here in Tanzania than a policeman in America. And y'all know what I'm talking about. I don't have any problems with the police here. All the ones that I've interacted with has been very respectful and everything. They ask me where I'm from, and I tell them America, and they welcome me and things like that, but they still want that little money. So that's okay. So that's kind of the experience that I have here in Tanzania, and similarly in Ghana, except I didn't get pulled over for driving, but other people that I was riding with got pulled over, and that was pretty much the same scenario, same case. And so here, you can get frustrated, because everybody here, the locals here, and I'm not saying, let me rephrase that, not everybody, but you do run into locals that just because you are from another country, they think you're rich. Particularly if you're from America, they think you're rich. And I think that has something to do with the relationship of the white people back in the day, because black people wasn't coming to Africa. It's only been lately. And but the white people used to come here and pretty much cripple them by so-called helping them out with Christianity and helping them out with medical and all that stuff. After they came and destroyed everything, then they come and act like they providing some type of care. And in some cases, some do, but for the most part. So that's where the locals, the Tanzanians, they look at people coming from America have money. So whenever they see us, even though they can't even tell that black people, they can't tell that we're not from Tanzania until we speak, unless you have a totally different look from them. Even me with my hair like this, I've ran into locals, they have, I want to say braids or locks or whatever and things like that. You can't tell if they're from America, if they're from the UK or whatever, until you speak, until you open your mouth. So those are the things that I don't like here. Is the corruption is the biggest thing here in Tanzania. So I understand the brother, and because everybody wants that dollar, So I'll say this: I've learned this. Whatever defense mechanism that you've learned, and I'm speaking for America because that's where I'm from, in terms of not getting beat out of your money or not getting cheated out of your money, whatever mechanism or defense strategy that you've learned to keep your money, you bring that here to Africa, the same thing. So what I was, the information I was given prior to coming to Africa, you're feeling like you're coming home. Africa, you're coming home, you're free, the motherland. And, so you're really excited and everything. You're not prepared to come here where people are looking at you as being rich and all they want is your money. Everything they want is your money. And you're going to lose some money while you're here. I guarantee you that. I can't tell you. I can't even put a price on how much money, I'm not saying lost, that people have overcharged me for things and I didn't know how much it cost, so I paid them the money. And also people coming to me with sad stories about their family and things like that, and me, I have a good heart. That's part of, I've always been like that. I always tried to help people. And so, you give them money, give them a loan, you don't get paid back and things. So I've been here 2 years now. So I've learned now how the system works and how the people think. So I have a whole different defense strategy now on top of what I had in America. Now I know how to prevent myself from losing so much money. One, I have learned how to count in the Swahili language, because that's the biggest language is Swahili. So I've learned the money, and things that you buy regularly, you'll learn how much it actually costs. So that prevents you from, getting ripped off so much. Even when I used to catch the bus here, before I got a car, ride the bus, catch the bus, ride the bus. They call it picket, which is a motorcycle. And at that time they had Bolt or like Uber. You know, I used to do that. And so even with that, you learn what things cost. Then once you learn that, then you can minimize how much money that you lose. And it's the same way in business here. If you go in business here, the thing that I don't like about here is that in Tanzania, you pretty much have to have, you don't have to, but it's strongly recommended that you have a Tanzanian as a partner in business. You can come here and start a business without a Tanzanian, but your taxes and everything like that is going to be much higher. And you pretty much have to have a lawyer to come here and get those things started, because if not, you can find yourself where a Tanzanian would have 51% of your business and you only have 49%. That's according to the understanding here in Tanzania. It's in the Constitution that a Tanzanian is supposed to have 51% of the business and you have 49. In other words, they would have more percentage of the business than you, even though you've put up all the money and they've put up nothing other than them just being Tanzanian, which seems like, you know, that can't be true, because I can't see all these Arab Indian corporations that's here, and I'm sure that no Tanzanian owns 51% of their business. You know, so you have to get an understanding of all those things like that. So when you come to any place, and I really understand this now, which I didn't do, any place you come to, you have to research how things are there, depending on what reason you're going there for. Then you have to do your research. Me, I've learned the hard way. I came and I've experienced things just by getting involved in things. The business, you know, I'm still building an Airbnb here. It'll be, it's already past a year now. August made a year. So I'm still building. It's a slow process. It took me, oh man, about 2-3 months just to get the business structured and things, because here in Tanzania, the technology is not here like it is in America. They have internet, but it's not like it here, like it is in America. So a lot of things you kind of manually do. Like if they want to know that you're building a building, they can't go on the internet and see where you've applied for this and that. They actually will come out to your property and see that you're building and things. And then in some cases, you would have to go pick them up to take them to your land, because they don't have vehicles like in America. They can just come out to your land. You, in most cases, you go pick them up. Or they'll have to catch like a Bajaji. Here's a 3-wheeler transportation. They will catch that and go out to your land. So they don't have, everybody don't have government cars like that. There are some, but for the most part, they don't, you know. So you would have to actually pick them up to go out to your land to do an inspection, and then take them back. And then that corruption thing I was talking about, in most cases, they want you to give them a little money just for them to come out to do their job, you know. But again, that's how it is here. So those are the kind of things that I don't agree with, I don't like. But when I look at all the positive things here, for me, my sole purpose for coming, and I'm gonna say initially it was Ghana. I was going to Ghana. And that was during the COVID time, March 2020, when things really started heating up there in America. I had already scheduled myself to go to Ghana, because that's where I was going to be going to live at. But things changed. Ghana borders was closed at the time, so I decided to come to Tanzania and wait in Tanzania until Ghana opened up its borders, and then proceed to Ghana. But of course, that didn't happen like that. My spirit began to feel that Tanzania was the place for me. I felt like my ancestors, and I say my ancestors, my mother's father's father, or my father's father, all the way up into wherever they came from to America. I feel like my ancestors came through Tanzania, or either they was here, because they also had the slave trade going on in East Africa as well. It wasn't as bad as it was in West Africa, in Ghana and the Ivory Coast, the transatlantic slave trade, but they did have a slave trade going on here in the East, where the Arabs and the British also was partaking of our brothers and sisters here. But my spirit felt like my ancestors was here, so that's the reason why I ended up staying here in Tanzania and decided to build. So all I wanted to do was just have a place where I can, some land, where I can be self-contained, you know, be out there to where you can grow your own vegetables, raise your animals, be it chickens, cows, goats, you know, and then raise your vegetables, drill your borehole for your water, and then also get solar panels if you can. If not, get a backup generator, because the lights and power, electricity do go out here from time to time, and they can be off, you know, for 8 hours or so. So that's something that you have to get used to. But for me, because I've been raised in America all my life and I got used to that automatic system there, I was ready to, when I say go back to the country, when I was small, my mom would leave me in a place where her mother stayed at, which was country, dirt roads and things like that. And my cousin, my uncle at that time was house sitting, if you will, at a ranch, and I used to stay there in the summertime with them. And I really enjoyed it because it was country living, the dirt roads. You had a barn with horses, there was chickens. You grew certain vegetables. My uncle hunted. And so I experienced that at a young age. I can't remember exactly, maybe 10, 11 or something like that, but that stayed in me. And so coming to Tanzania, I see that same condition here, and that's why I love it here. And so I can deal with all the disadvantages, the lights going out, the corruption and all that. For me, is better than being in a controlled system like I was in America, where they know everything about you. And it seems like every little money that you get is like they have some type of spiritual system in place there. Is coming to take that money. It's so hard for you to get ahead. They're not saying nobody gets ahead. I'm not saying that. But for me, and I'm speaking of me, even though I would consider to be successful there, I had a business, 2 daycare centers. So I was working for myself, but even then they was taking so much money from me. So it was still like working for the system, you know. I wasn't working for a job, I was working for myself, but the amount of money that I had to pay them for working for myself, I just couldn't see it. It just wasn't freedom to me. So anyway, going back to my brother, I understood his frustration of being here in Tanzania. And so like I explained to him, is that, you know, first, you know, think about it. What's your reason for coming here? And that's what you got to look at. What is your reason for coming here? Are you coming here to do business? Are you coming here to live free? And when I say free, like I said, owning your land, taking care of yourself, self-contained. Are you coming here to party, to have a good time? What is your reason for coming here? That's the first thing that you have to know. And once you know that, then you proceed from that point. But everywhere you go, there's going to be issues, there's going to be problems. There's nowhere where it's perfect at. Although you have different operating systems, and that's what I have come to learn since being here in Tanzania and comparing it to America. America is beautiful. Well, I mean, things work automatic there. You don't have issues with lighting unless it's bad weather or something like that. You know, your policeman is there. You can call them and they there. You can call the ambulance and they there. You know, those things that I've experienced here, it's not like that here at all. I had an experience one night. I'm rambling now. I'm rambling. I don't have a certain point. I'm just rambling. But I had experience one night. There was a sister that got sick, and it was late at night. And sister called and told me what she was feeling, and I went there, and I didn't have a car at the time, and it's at midnight. So I said, well, let me call the ambulance, and I called the hospital. And you ain't gonna believe what they told me. They said, well, we do have an ambulance, but we don't have a driver for that. I said, you don't have a driver? This is an emergency. You don't have a driver? So bottom line, I had to get a motorcycle, not me driving it, but it was a motorcycle passing by. And mind you, this is midnight. And I flagged the motorcycle down. So me and the sister on the motorcycle riding to the hospital to get her to the hospital because she was having problems breathing, you know, and I didn't know what was wrong and stuff. So it's things like that that's here that, of course, in America, you have an emergency, they'll be there in no time. But even with that, I've learned that, you know, that's okay, you know. It's about, brothers and sisters, for me, and everything that I say, I'm speaking of me. It's about being free. I feel that my purpose, and all of our purpose, I believe, is that we come to this planet. We don't come to this planet to be born into slavery, a slave system that controls everything for you. We should all be free. We shouldn't have to pay for anything. It should be all the services, and I guess maybe I'm talking about a social system. I don't know. I don't even get involved with terminologies of communist, capitalist, social. I just feel what I feel, you know, and I feel that nobody should have to pay for anything on this earth, that this earth belongs to all of us. We shouldn't have to pay for anything. We should be living free. We should be happy. We should be feeling good. We should be healthy. The only thing that I would say, even when we worship, we all know that there's one creator. We can call them different names, but we all know that there is a creator. And if it was the type of system here to where we was free to live, there was nobody being greedy and trying to make all the money and trying to put you in different classes, you know, the poor, the middle class, and all this kind of stuff. One person having billions and billions of dollars where the lowest person don't have any money at all. But if it was a system where we was all pretty much equal, you know, we had access to everything, you know, there's no need to want from another because it would be so simple, you know. You want a house, you go build a house. You want a new car, you go get a new car. Things like that, and it's no cost. The only thing is that we live in harmony, we love one another, and we take care of one another. And then we just praise that creator that we know that is something that created us, and we just praise that and just live happy. You know, that's what I feel that we come here to do. That's how we're supposed to be living. But unfortunately, you had people, negative people, that created a system so that when we got here, when we was born and we came into a system that is already controlled, and we're taught from very early age, 2, 1, whatever age it is, that we begin to see symbols. We begin to be educated at that time, and we're taught to support this system. So wherever you're working at, you're working for some corporation. And it would be interesting to know, what is this corporation doing with the money that they're making? What are they doing with it? Are they helping? Are they building, doing things for people? What are they doing with this money? Obviously, you go in business to make money, but to make it for what? What are you going to do? Once your needs is taken care of, what about the other people? You know? So when we come here, we come into a slave system already, and we don't even know that we're in slavery. We think that because we have a choice to travel to different cities, and we have a choice to go outside and sit on the porch, you have a choice to go to the store, you think that we're free. But when you go to that store, you start looking at what items are on the shelves in that store. In some stores, you might not see nothing but their brand, like Kroger's or Walmart. You see their brands and stuff, or you don't have that choice. So by you being forced to buy a certain thing, that's not having a choice, you know. Then they tell you that, you know, home ownership is a beautiful thing. But you never own your home in America. Even when you pay the mortgage off, you will still have to pay taxes the rest of your life. And if you stop paying them taxes, in due time, they're going to come and take that property from you. So you never own it. That's an illusion. You don't own your property. Here in Tanzania, I can say this, and Ghana, when you do build your home, it's your home. You don't have to have insurance on it. you pay a small amount of tax. I mean, it can be 20 to 30, maybe $50 a year taxes that you pay, but you own it, you know. So that's the big difference, you know, that I see, you know, from America and Tanzania and Ghana. But I see my time is clicking by, going by, and I just wanted to come this morning and talk a little bit. And there's a lot of other things that I want to say, but you know, I don't want to, you know, take up all y'all time. But I just was thinking about the conversation that I had with the brother last night and his frustrations that he had with Africa. And like I say, it's not perfect here, and it's not like what I thought it was when I first got here. I thought the people here was going to welcome us in as our long lost brothers and sisters that was taken from slavery. Y'all home. It was going to be drums, you know, and people dancing and singing and all that. And when I got off the plane, it was like crickets, real quiet. Crick, 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 crick. It wasn't none of that, brothers and sisters. Although you do run into, you know, certain sisters and brothers from time to time that they will welcome you. But, you know, Africa here has been colonized. And that's the type of Africa that we're experiencing now, is from being colonized. You know, the people here, and this is my experience, are not Africans first, but they're whatever their religion is first. That's what they are. If they're Muslim, they're Muslim. If they're Christianity, they're Christian. But they're not Africans first, you know, and that's the problem, you know. So, but other than that, man, you know, I'm having a great time. Later, I'm going to be going to the land. I may do a video there of the land to see the progression. And I just want you, brothers and sisters, to stay strong, stay free. And there's so much more I can talk about, but I'm going to end it here. Like I said, I didn't have a specific subject or a point to make here. It's just that talking to my brother last night and listening to his frustrations about Africa or Tanzania. It's the people. It's just like any other place. You run into these people that want your money, you know. So you have to learn now how to protect yourself from losing your money, you know. But just like me, you know, when you first get here to Africa, you don't know these things. You know, you come with this mentality of you want to help, you know, help them because people are not economically prosperous here like that. So you want to help, you know, and most people here don't look at planning for the future. They look at living now. So if they can get money from you now, even though you can provide more money for them later by having the businesses and they operate the business, they can make more money. Some, I ain't gonna say all, some don't see it like that. They look at eating right now, today. So if they can get money out of you right now, today, that's what they're gonna do. And so a lot of us has failed into that predicament when we first got here because we didn't know that. So I would say, tell anybody before you come, talk to whoever you know is in that country, talk to them. You can look at different YouTubers on there. But definitely get a feel of how the people are there, you know, before you come. And I'll say just come visit. I would never tell you to sell all your property in America and come to Africa. I would not tell you to do that. I will tell you that you should come visit. I will tell you you have to have income coming in. How much? For me, $2,500, $3,000 a month is sufficient for what I want to do. It depends on your living standards and what you're accustomed to having. But you got to have income coming in, and that's the best thing because there's no jobs here. You can't come here to get a job. They don't have jobs. They got people here, young people, 19, 20 with degrees, master degrees, can't find employment. This is about who you know here if you're going to be working, and the biggest job opportunity is working for the government here, even though they have, you know, other corporations here. But, you know, so you can't come here looking for a job. You have to have some income coming, If you're doing business, a lot of people here do some type of online business. I don't know what it is and how much money that they're making. I don't know that, but I've been blessed. You know, I worked all my life. I had daycare business. I retired, so I have income coming in. So I'm living free and I'm having a good time, brothers and sisters. So with that, I'm going to say again, stay strong, stay free, peace, and I will see you later. Take care.